rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. John, would you like to do the roll call, please?
I will. Karen Ford,
Yes.
Annette Schreiner,
Present.
Tim Salsbury.
Here.
Dick Long,
Present.
Bob Eyre.
Yes.
All present.
Thank you. First thing on the agenda will be to approve the minutes of the February 20th meeting. We've all been given a copy and have had a chance to read. Are there any additions or corrections?
Karen, I see no changes, so I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Jim,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Annette,
Yes.
and Bob.
Yes.
Next on the agenda is a hearing of public concerns. Is anybody in the audience wanting to speak? And we've added a new policy copying off the city to limit it to 5 minutes if possible.
Understand. I appreciate talking to you tonight. I'm going to make it quick because I know everybody wants to go someplace else besides here. Follow up from a couple weeks ago, we talked about the Barracuda certificate for filtering out spam and things for the .net email addresses was not renewed. And I personally was getting bombarded, and over about 6 days had about 100 emails that were trying to sell me blood sugar, blood pressure, and a whole bunch of other things. I never heard any conversation, and I guess I'm trying to figure out, has that been rectified? It's not been discussed. It's still on the back burner. A few days I had absolutely nothing and thought it was great, and then all of a sudden I started getting pounded again with my city email account. So if there's a quick answer to that.
There will be discussion coming, yes.
Okay, thanks. Second thing is, for those that weren't at last night's council meeting, there was some more discussion about the audio-video recordings, and it was once again brought up that the reason that it was pushed through and voted is because it was cost prohibitive. There's been an alternative put forth that is not cost prohibitive. It's a fraction of the cost of the $40,000 that came out of an undocumented, just a statement. It doesn't take any of the head-end gear that you were using previously. It doesn't take the fiber. It is used anywhere from a novice to very high professional productions. There was obviously some conversations about, you know, how do we make this happen? And of course, then we got out of the weeds, and everybody's worried about things they shouldn't be worried about. My, once again, request to you as kind of a representative for people that have started contacting me is we need to re-establish audio-video productions of both council and BPA meetings for numerous reasons. It's not cost prohibitive. There's not a security risk. It's no different than, you know, connecting to other things, and I just think it's in the best interest of the city of Bryan as a whole to go back down that road. I'm also still willing, if you go down the OBS studio route, I'm also willing to, free of charge, work with BMU and the communications department to get it up and running as far as the background graphics and all those things that you need for the intro slides. It would have to be replicated from your existing system. So I've got some skin in the game at no charge to you if you want it. That's all I have for tonight. You can listen to the recording. It wasn't up earlier, so hopefully by tomorrow somebody will push it out and you'll be able to listen to the first few minutes of the council meeting.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board? Okay. Next on the agenda is the police captain, Jamie Mendez, a request for free service. Please.
I'm going to give the board a little bit of background information for Captain Mendez. November 15th, 2022, the board approved a free service request from Police Chief Rusky. It was when they initially installed the flock camera system in the city. At that time, he gave a brief description of the system and what its uses are. That request was for 5 poles, 5 cameras that utilized the electric service. The electric department has met with the police chief. They reviewed all these locations, and we don't see any issue with any of them, and cost would be minimal to meet Captain Mendez's request.
So, council members, we're looking to, as Derek mentioned, put in several more cameras. I don't know if you're familiar with the flock camera system. It's the cameras that read license plates coming into town. The system itself has aided us in solving a lot of hit-skip accidents. It helped us find a missing child. It gives us information on if somebody comes into town with a warrant, or if another agency is looking for a suspect, we can enter their license plate or vehicle description, and it'll alert us when they come into town, so we can help other agencies as well. It's a system that's being used across the nation, so we are tied in with a lot of other cities that if we need them to check their cameras, they'll link to us, and we can check other cities like Toledo and all the way out to New York. So with those cameras, again, we're looking to add 8 cameras. Out of those 8 cameras, 3 poles would be given by flock. 3 poles would be the wood utility poles, and 2 would be on traffic signal poles. Out of the 2 poles, we're asking for permission to have power to just 2. The other ones would be solar powered.
Just a question I have.
Yes, sir.
How is that monitored? Is it internally monitored, or is it?
The camera itself will capture the image.
Okay.
It'll run it through, like the state of Ohio calls it leads, and that's what your driver's license, your license plates, information's all in the internet. It'll run it through that, and then it goes into our police department has the website. It'll alert the website. And a lot of our officers have downloaded the app on their phones. So while they're driving around, our phones will go off and tell us if we get hit on something.
So it doesn't take existing, I mean, you work with the existing personnel to make
Yes,
this
sir.
work.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's helped us out.
How does it pick up a license plate?
It's a quick, you'll see, it'll give us a snapshot of the car and the license plate itself. At nighttime, it has an infrared camera that will use whatever existing light is out there and snap it and make it bright again. We can put it down to, if I'm looking for a yellow car with a bumper sticker on the right bumper, we can put that in there. It'll give me every yellow car with a bumper sticker in the right-hand corner.
Amazing.
That's how we've been able to solve a lot of hit-skip accidents, just limited information.
So every vehicle that comes into the Bryan area based upon your pole locations will be
No, yeah.
Will be monitored.
Snapping, yeah, so it's thousands.
And that goes directly to the internal people you currently have and also externally to
Yes,
other
sir.
police departments.
Yes, sir.
That's technology.
It's a great detective tool.
I was gonna say, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
It's
it
gotta be
actually-
about the same thing as, like
Have a
getting on the
satellite.
Illinois Turnpike.
Yeah.
They take the picture and send you a bill. It's
Yeah.
like, how can they do that when
Yeah.
you're going 90,
Yeah,
passing a truck?
Yeah, my children sent me the bill.
Yeah.
That's amazing, that technology.
But Vicky owns the truck, so I'm
Yeah,
sure,
oh, yeah.
right?
That helps. Is it difficult to learn, or is it?
No, it's really easy. Like I said, if I figured it out, my young guys got it.
I know how, same way with me, my kids like me. So you can actually, on your cell phone.
Yeah. Well, one of the other applications we use is our, John Rathke is our detective with the drug unit. If he's looking, like following certain people, he gives the information to our road guys and they'll plug in the information. And we can call him and say, okay, we got your suspect that you've been following, he just came in on this road. Things like that, so. There was, what do you call it, theft. Dollar Generals, all the Dollar Generals in the area got hit on the same day. And on the car information, we were able to put it in there and we could tell you what time it came into town and what the license plate was and the car was. It was pretty good.
Little Bryan, Ohio.
How long does it store the data for?
Pretty much indefinitely.
Okay.
And then if we put in a specific vehicle that we're looking for, we can put a time frame. So we can either put it for indefinite, or we can put it as short as a week. We've been traditionally putting in cars, if we're looking for them, for like a week to maybe 30 days, because we don't want them in there
Right.
all the time. So it'll kind of shuffle them out as we go.
It picks the car vehicle coming in,
Mhm.
but does it follow it?
No, sir.
Okay.
Once we hit that, and that's one of the limitations we're having right now, we are so short manpower that I have 2 guys on the road as opposed to what we usually have. So my guys could be tied up and then the flock goes off. So it's like, well, we'll go check that area
Right.
and see if we can find them when we get a chance. It's, now we're getting so much information, our guys are really
It's
trying to work.
overwhelming, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's been doing really well for us.
So you're just basically asking for 2 more?
2 more power, yeah.
Yeah.
I make a motion.
Any other questions? I'd like to make a motion that we give Bryan PD the 2 extra resurface poles.
I'll second.
Absolutely.
Dick,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Annette,
Yes.
and Jim.
Can I ask, you may have mentioned last night at the council meeting, I don't recall, I remember you saying last night that the police department was shorthanded. Can you say how, I mean, are we,
How many are we down?
Yeah.
5.
5?
Wow.
We just lost an officer.
I see you had a retirement the last night. Yeah, is that-
Tracy retired the end of last year. We were already down 2. Tracy Williamson retired. Who else did we lose? Ricky just quit, went up to, he wasn't from this area, he was up from Michigan, Lenawee County. He kind of wanted to go back home.
Yeah.
Is that
So-
full-time?
Yeah, he's now a deputy.
5 full-time?
Yeah. So,
I thought it was 4, but I guess I'm off one.
yeah. It's soon to be 5, but we'll put it that way. Yeah. We've
Gotta give you
another
guys a lot of
officer
credit.
who wants- We got another officer who's not from the area, and he's trying to go back home too.
And I imagine it's pretty competitive. I mean, I think everybody's looking for them, aren't they?
Yes, sir. I don't want to waste your time, but.
Oh, that's fine.
We have, so the local academies is Northwest State, Owens Community, Vantage down in Van Wert, Ohio, and then there's one in Lima. Out of those academies, they run anywhere from 15 to 10 students in the class. And it takes 6 months to go through a part-time class. So every agency right now is hiring. And no exaggeration, pretty much you can go anywhere and they're hiring. So by the time I go to the academy and try to recruit, they're all spoken for.
Doesn't, like the city of Toledo, don't they run their own
Yes.
classes to?
Yeah.
So does OSP.
Yeah, yes, OSP, Columbus, all the big cities.
Always comes out of the budget.
But they're down, right, on their numbers on academy entries?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a profession people are willingly,
It's,
Rapidly
yeah, it's not
changing.
just us hurting, it's everyone, and we're trying to pick from 9 people in one academy, trying to recruit. I went to Owens twice to try to recruit, and they had 20. And I went early, like the first 2 months of the academy, they were already spoken for.
Oh.
They already had job offers.
Judging by the police log in the Bryan Times, it looks like they keep you pretty busy.
busy.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I came from Napoleon, and I thought Napoleon was busy, and when I got here to Bryan, I was shocked how more busy Bryan is.
Wow.
We do have one, though, that we kind of have on the hook, and she's been doing a good job for us on dispatch, and then went to Northwest State and just signed up for an auxiliary officer, and when she's not in class and has free time, she's riding around with some of our guys to get very familiar, and we hope to have her June.
Well, yeah, the beginning of June. We have 3, we reopened the auxiliary to help start like pre-training people. Out of those 3 that we just put on the auxiliary, 2 of them are currently in Northwest Academy's school. And they're both, one being the dispatch, the other one being another
young man out of Holgate, Ohio. They want to be hired full-time. There's a third auxiliary that hasn't been able to get into an academy yet, but he's hoping to get in the fall, and he's trying to get on with us as well.
Is there interest from retirees to do on a part-time basis?
So we have a reservist program. What that essentially is if you still have your certification through the state of Ohio, we will pay you $1,000 if you get in within 96 hours out of the entire year. If you give us 96 hours, $1,000. Problem is a lot of retirees are saying, I'm pretty done.
Yeah, I can ride a bike so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're e-bikes now.
Just
Yes,
one.
Which we have one of those.
Just one.
They kind of sold me on, if you really think about it, you're on a bike and you have to go on the other side of town to get someone, you're pretty winded,
Oh, yeah.
you know.
But they're so silent.
Yeah, then you don't feel like chasing them, you just shoot
You
'em.
never see them.
No!
You never see them because they're so
Write that down. Just kidding.
I've always been amazed
It's in the
that the
minutes.
bicyclists are so silent.
Well, can you imagine somebody pedaling, trying to keep up or catch up to
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
those
yeah,
bikes?
I understand.
Yeah, technology changes even
Well, that sounds good.
bike ready. Any other questions?
No.
Thank you for what
Thank
you
you,
did.
Mr. Mendez.
Thanks.
Very
Yeah.
educational.
Okay, next on our agenda is the effect semi-monthly disbursements. But before we do, I do have a general question, and then we can do the motion. If you look at your disbursement list, there's one request I would like to suggest for the benefit of everybody who sees this, and that would be to take the account number column and change that to department. I don't know, there's a few select people here that would recognize.
There'd be more clarification.
It would tell you, instead of a number there, it would say, for example, electric, and you would know that would be the electric department's expense and who it was paid to.
Gotcha.
Sounds like a good idea. I guess the account number isn't something we really need to know.
I was gonna say we wouldn't have to look it up.
And I still have them memorized, but that doesn't help you guys any.
No.
And those are all, I
I guess the
assume
question,
they
why was it done this way?
These are the account numbers the utility uses on their bookkeeping, so I'm assuming that it just matches up for them on their POs.
We didn't even have that on there a number of years ago, and I always wondered, looking at this, what department did that come, who was buying
Let's
this?
have a ledger account.
And that was common for me to know, and nobody else seemed to care, and I thought, well, because it matches up to the PO, it's the same number.
You can go one step further and just break it down, electric, power, water, I mean,
Any way
categorize it.
that would benefit you guys, I'm fine with that. Right now, it's all alphabetized by vendor, like it is in the booklet in front of you, the file booklet in front of you, but, and of course, you can look that up for further details, look up the PO it is, but if you have any other suggestions, you're welcome to say maybe we could have it.
So we can look at changing that to department. The only issue I would see is with some of these, they're paid out of 6,
Multiple.
7, 8 line items, so it's gonna be
Cost
difficult to put that all into one box, but we'll see what we can do.
Not that, I think multi is still acceptable because we can always look at the
Okay.
exact PO. It's always in that book for us, and we have to sign that anyway. So, and there's not all that many, I mean, there's more and more of them, but I think starting out, let's try it. Unless you find some way, or maybe they have some
Yeah.
suggestions how to do it. Maybe, I did think maybe have a column for the different departments using that for the multi, and you could put in E for electric,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
first letter of the department, maybe. I don't want to make this too time consuming for the person that does this up there, but or just something to help everyone who looks at this. So, like I said, any other helpful
Yeah, I mean, if it's an easy switch for who creates this document, yeah, it would be easier for us to understand.
Okay, any questions other than that? I'll entertain a motion to affect semi-dippers.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills.
I'll second it.
Dick,
Yes.
Annette,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
and Bob.
Okay, thank you. Comments from BPA and staff? We'll start with Bob again.
Excuse me.
Very educational on the request for the additional polls. I didn't realize how valuable that technology is and that how much it helps you. The world we live in today is so much different than probably what we've seen, so definitely needed.
Yeah, I'll just reiterate what you said, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have nothing else.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, rest assured we'll do anything we can to support the police department.
Yeah, it was interesting to hear you talk about how it captures the license plates and how it's helped already in just a short amount of time that it's been, the cameras have been installed. And also, liking the article on the water tower and this from the Wall Street Journal. It's very, very nice article.
Yes, if anybody hasn't seen it, we can get a copy to you if you're interested. But it was written by Bob Green, and it's a very entertaining article about how Spanglers and the city went ahead with putting the dum-dums up there and how they can see it coming from on Amtrak, coming from like Chicago or wherever they're coming from, and gives them something better to see than the boring gray old water tower. Very interesting. Anything else in that?
No, that's all.
No? Okay. Gary?
Just want to thank the electric department for their quick response this morning. There was a car accident. The car took out the guy wire, and somehow the guy wire ended up in the distribution line, and at the same time made contact with the pole ground and caused 4 breakers on the 69 loop at 4 of our substations to operate. So we did have a brief outage this morning. There was only about 8 homes, about 30 minutes. There was some minor repairs made, but
I was one of those 8.
okay.
Sorry, Bob.
That's okay. I was making lunch.
It was a whole neighborhood.
Yeah. So just want to thank them for their quick response and getting service restored quickly. That's all.
Sorry about interrupting there. I had called Al to find out what was going on, and that's what he said. It actually affected 4 different substations, so the guy he thought was okay, the man who did the damage and hit the pole. So, Jimmy?
Just Captain Mendez, just want to thank him for sharing the additional information on the flock system. I can see how that can be beneficial for your guys on patrol. So thanks again.
I do have a couple things. First of all, Captain, thank you for joining us for that request. Board and BMU always appreciate your collaboration. We kind of talked about it last night at the council meeting, and you know, it's kind of our goal that the community doesn't even realize how much we collaborate. That means we're all just doing what we're supposed to do and serving the community, but it's also efforts like this and today's accident and the park at Lincoln Park that shows that we really do all work well together, and it's all hands on deck. So I appreciate your help with that. Did want to mention I was in DC last week for the APPA conference. That went really well. We got to meet with Senator Brown and Senator Vance, and then also Maley, who is a top aide for Congresswoman Capter. We're still talking about sequestration, but Sherrod Brown's office actually has that bill drafted, so we're working on getting a Republican counterpart to help him with that bill, push it forward, which will either hopefully be Senator Vance or the senator from South Carolina who's also impacted. So it would be really nice if next year when I go to DC, I don't have to talk about sequestration. That's something we've talked to them about since 2013. And then Marcy Kaptur's office was very helpful with the conversations we have about coal plants shutting down and the grid reliability. And so we're hoping those conversations continue throughout the year, not just that day. But very successful trip, very quick, flew out Monday, flew back in Wednesday, but definitely well worth the effort. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to attend.
It's a good picture of everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. John?
I have nothing else to add. Thanks.
Mr. Betts? Anything else, Mr. Mendez? Brian Times? Brian? No?
You look at me, I have nothing else to do.
No, I was looking at Mrs. Long back there.
Don't say nothing. Take the fifth.
Again,
Mr. Metz, so
again.
you're okay? All right. All right, I did entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
And Bob?